lot of fun with the last one. I just have some things I need them to kind of go over, go through, and kind of explain. And even if they don't, and they're willing to take that route and want to progress the story more without really, I guess, giving us the things that have happened in the past just yet, and just having it at like a base of these characters already know each other, these things and experiences have already happened, and we're not really going to go into them, and then just kind of throw you within the world, that's fine. We need to expand a little bit more on some other things, though, and at least provide some sort of context. Sometimes I think we go into episode 1s and we just don't do that, and then episode 2s is like, let's backtrack and talk a little bit more, and explore these ideas a bit, which is something that could be present here, but we also entirely could just run the story without doing that and then just keep progressing. So there's ways, I think, what I would like, but it just depends how, I guess, it gets presented here. If they decide to not go that same route of maybe what I'm desiring in a way, and they can also turn out pretty good regardless. So I think there should be, I don't know. I'm excited though. I really did enjoy the first episode a lot more than at least I thought that I was going to. So I am excited to see kind of a little bit more within this world and see kind of what they have for us here. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me on to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave me comments with this episode or series is going on with the Metallic Rouge episode 2. Yeah, she was there. He.
ネアンを統括する心理部が2つの殺人事件をもみ消している。
心理部らしいやり方です。
1件目は地球、2件目は火星。
We travel.
捜査の基本だろ。
アッシュ捜査官。それでは我々が火星に向かう理由としては薄いかと。
勘だよ、勘。
Sounds convincing to me. Yeah, like it's on the news, bro.
どうやら勘というものを研究する必要がありそうですね。
遅い。自分のばっか。怒らない、怒らない。
Nice. Weird to focus on that guy.
ちょっと待った。乗ります。何これ。あれはボストーク級二等空中防衛装甲。
Damn, dude.
ボス？戦艦。対戦中最前線だった火
During
星
the
をめ
Great
ぐって、こ
War.
の軌道上では日夜三奪者との激しい戦いが繰り広げられたのでした。とても友好的な彼らを人類は来
So the visitors again, alright.
その後、
But
別の宇宙人がやってきました。しかし、
they're not able, well, they kind of
宇
are.
宙人は凶暴で人類を攻撃してきたのです。
There's one right next to
人類
you.
は彼らのことを三奪者と呼ぶことにしました。分かり合えない人類と三奪者、ついに宇宙大戦争勃発。次ぐ戦い、人類は三奪者と戦うためにありとあらゆる兵器を作ったのであります。その中でも最強にして最高の兵器はなんだ？ミサイル。ブー。ビーム、すっごいビーム。正解はネアン。ネアン
Oh, I thought that they were. Okay. Gotcha. Nah, she doesn't look like it at all, huh? Whoa. They're not programmed to do that.
そりゃ恐ろしいな。
知らないのか？ネアンにはアジモフコードってのがあるんだぞ。
モフモフ？
アジモフコード。人間に危害を加えちゃいけませんと。ちゃんと心に組み込まれているんだよ。
人は殺さないが、ヒューイは元ソルジャーで戦争で大活躍したんだぞ。
に使えるのが任務です。
ヒューイ、そろそろネクタルの時間じゃないかしら。
まだ大丈夫です。
Show them. Show them how it's done. See, I thought that they were trying to say that they had this name for the neons when they were like something else entirely, but now amongst themselves they classify it as something else, if that makes sense. But that's not the case at all, and we actually created things in order to help us fight alongside here, and I think that that's rather interesting.
あげたら。うわ、大人げない。大人じゃないもん。可愛い子供だもん。
There you are.
その気持ち。大好きなものは誰にも取られたくないよね。
Yeah, the problem is she got like fucking 8 different things of chocolate.
あなた、火星の戦争にすごく詳しいのね。いえいえ、それほどでもありますけど。もしかして美貌の歴史学者とか。単なるミリオタ歴女です。私はジル、ジャーナリスト。
社会におけるネアンの存在について調べてるの。
Hmm.
何をしにウェルズタウンへ？
Business.
悪い奴らを追って
Don't say
悪いや
that.
っていう設定で旅してる痛いミリオタの歴女です。
うん
やだ、もう痛いのバレちゃったじゃん。あはは。
Good save. Good save.
ナオミ・オルトマンです。
つ。よろしく。
ほら。ルジュ・レッドスター。
What a
ル
name.
ージュ。いい名前ね。
Hmm.
どうも。てってれー、このお姉ちゃんが連れてってくれま
Just let her transform.
す。いや、
We probably shouldn't do that.
可愛い子には旅をさせろって言うでしょ。大人の階段登ってこい。
これママに見せるんだ。
ママ？
ウェルズタウンの病院にいるんだ。
ママお
Hmm.
外に出られないの。だから私たちがいっぱい見せてあげるの。
My God.
もう
That's why we have barriers. At least she held on to the camera, right? Hey.
お兄さん、何やってる人ですか？あー、待って、当てます。私、第1回職業当てクイズやってるんです。
All right.
お兄さん
I
は
love the energy.
闇の組織の資格？
Yes.
火星野鳥の会の人？違う？頭良さそうだからな。 IT 系、社長系。待って、当てますから。ヒントください。
One of those is right.
体をいじくる仕事さ。
Hmm.
中に入ろう。
Oh, fuck. Oh, they're common.
作戦行動に移る。
生きたまま連れてこい。
了解した。
我々に用がある系のヤバいの来てる。いやいや、まだわかりませぬぞ。
No, we know that.
ミリオタたちの楽しい遠足かも。
No. Bro's just living his life. Unreal.
乗務員って俺？
I have to handle this shit. You gotta be kidding me.
この女を渡せ。目的を果たせば安全は保証する。繰り返す。
君の安全は保証するって言ってるだろう。
Yeah, what's the cost of one life for all of us to be saved?
じゃあどうすればいいんだ。
Smart old lady. Smart old lady.
おい、
Oh
おい、
shit.
なんとかしろ。なこと言われても。
The fuck am I? Didn't you have any training in those?
マニュアルマニュアル。
片付けてくる。なるべくバレない感じで。
Yeah, we might not really have a choice
お願いいたし
though.
ますあ
Do you even know what careful is? Alright, Rouge, be great.
3秒で2分90秒。心得た。
Good compromise.
動くな。おかしな気を起こすなよ。
Through the door. Oh, without transforming. Beautiful. Oh no, the boy! I hate how we just use them as like fucking objects. I mean, he used himself, but so awkward. Of course you are. Oh shit, the Sonic lady. Dump off the bodies. Good shit, boys.
120秒。30秒オーバーね。細か。時間厳守でお願いします。
お前ら。
しっかり捕まってな。追い出されるよ。
戦争時に使っていた軍事施設があるはず。代替品が見つかるかも。
I love how we have all the right people for like every situation here.
ミリオタの歴女なんで。
What a jump!
君はここに残って。
Nobody even questions it.
行く。あいつらがまた来たらどうすんの？ルジュ、ハウス。
Aww.
すごい。いつの間に撮ってたの？こいつら SOA かな。
But she got legs for days. My lord. My lord.
要するに傭兵、誰かに雇われてるってこと。
よーへー。
それにしてもすごいよく撮れてるね。これはピューリッツ足
I
をも
can't
の
take
よ。
anything serious with
それ
her.
ぐらい取れるもん。
あながち嘘じゃなさそうね。
嘘です。
あなたのおかげで助かった。ありがとう。
私はただ命じられて動くだけ。
I have no free will. Is she?
私が
She asked something like this
自分で
before.
選べるの。そうでしょ。
お兄ちゃんに無理じゃないこと証明しよう。
Yeah, fuck that guy. Being too protective. Although she's gonna end up in a bad situation here, 100%. Ooh.
ねや人間と共に戦った。
Just leave him out like that.
三奪者の大マシン。通称シリンダーヘッド。
Why'd you follow us? I did not know you were
起
coming.
動させなければただのガラクタ。
どうしたの？
Yeah, because Rouge's dumbass was like, let's just go out in the middle of the night.
まさか逃げたのか。
Brilliant picture. Although this is it for you. Oh no, not Emily. Rouge, please just protect her. Please. Oh fuck. Get the picture now. This will be a way better one. What the fuck?
このまま静かに。そのうちまたスリープモードになるからさ。
Well, can we get her out the way? Thank you. Oh my god. You're being targeted too now. Oh fuck, they're strong. Wow.
なんだ。
エミリー。
My god, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, you don't stand a chance. Well, you put yourself in a tough one here, Rouge. Oh, time to expose yourself to the others. Oh shit. This is a way cooler transformation than we saw before. Nice. Yeah.
やばいのが来る。
誰さん？
Where the fuck did you come from?
嘘だろ。
Rouge, do something. Oh, the boy.
もっとヘバについてバリアの中に入れ。ってなことばかり言って。捕まってね。
Oh my god. There's multiple. I love being able to see her pushed a little bit more to her limits here. Slice on through. Head boy. Nice. Excellent.
藤お姉ちゃんは？
やっぱり戻った方がいいんじゃない？
It's just ran away from her. What do you
なん
mean?
とかなるっしょ。
Yeah, she's good.
そういうのいいね。
誰さん？
Answer the fucking question. All alone again. Oh. Hit her right.
これ取ったのか。すごいじゃん。
私
Aw.
にもお兄ちゃんいるから気持ちわかる。
Do you?
ありがとう。
大人になりましたな。
Mm-hmm.
可愛い子は旅をして無事大人の階段登りました。
とさ。
A significantly better episode than the first one, which is pretty pretty good because I really actually enjoyed the first one. While I did have like issues and questions and things about the direction that we were overall going to go, I think that they set up enough within the early sections of it that leave you wondering or leave you understanding enough of the direction that we will probably head within the story that we can kind of progress a little bit more as we are here, and actually change things up a little bit and make the story just hit a little bit more and make these moments a little bit better, which I think, I don't know, it just works. It works extremely well, and it was a very fun watch. I mean, it's a little hard to take certain moments. There's plenty of serious like background stuff that's really going on with like clear things of like discrimination or like racism and things going on within the Neon specifically, and them, you know, the way that people kind of view them, and a whole bunch of other things going on with like war and, you know, past history and these things. But we keep it lighthearted for the most part, right? Like we keep things a little bit up there. I mean, there were kids that were literally about to get fucking trampled at some point throughout the episode, but for the most part, it stays comedic in a way, and I don't know, they do a good job at just writing character interactions and different moments that I think hit pretty well, and actually just, I don't know, it works. And it makes those moments not as needed to be as serious, but I think it just makes me enjoy the characters a little bit more. It makes me feel like the show understands some of the concepts. While some of them are serious, as I just said, some of the things that are kind of being presented here aren't as serious and are a little bit more playful, and they kind of play into that a little bit more, to make you kind of enjoy it. I don't know, and it works a lot more for me when we kind of take a route like that, because if we can do this enough that we can grow these character interactions and these people, and, you know, build up this world and everything that they're making very interesting, at least to me so far, we're going to get to a point where we can make emotional moments and things hit a little bit harder, because we don't need to take ourselves as serious now, that when we choose to direction change and take ourselves a little bit more serious, probably down the back end of this, where, I mean, we don't even have to. We could keep it just like this the whole way through. But if they choose to do that, which I think is probably likely, and we'll kind of face like these critical moments for one or two or three of our main characters here, that we're ultimately going to have to become a little bit more serious and emotional, probably at moments. I think that it'll do a good job at hitting, because the connection to the characters has been built up pretty strongly, and you wanting to see them happy and see these like things, you know, see them together, and the chemistry and everything that they have that might be taken from them at some sort of point down the line, you're going to want that back, right? So those moments are going to be, you're going to take it a little bit more serious when they ultimately come, probably down the back end, that you are going to like kind of take it a lot more serious. I don't know. I think that it's a good way to kind of set the foundation of doing this. And they continue down the path of like not telling a lot and just kind of developing the world as though you're already a part of it and you already understand. And they do a good job at using like the children and the stuff at the beginning, because we're going on a ride, right? We are going somewhere and we're sitting on this tank or whatever it is that we're on, right? And we're going to a new location, so we have to pass some time. So naturally you're going to have these kids and these people questioning and wondering a lot of things, so we can use the curiosity of people who probably have not been exposed to it before to basically expose it all to the viewer themselves, which I think is also just an excellent way of you kind of doing it. In almost any story, if you use kids as the person that you're explaining things to, it usually can make it come off not as boring. And especially if you have somebody like Naomi, who's like very just energetic, right, and very excited and overly passionate about these things that she's kind of like telling you, it makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting, because she doesn't make the story sound as boring, you know, as serious, and, you know, she is a lot more playful when it comes to it, which I think is great. They do an excellent job expanding the world and, you know, the things that we kind of been introduced to a little bit before and also really know now, which I think was much needed, and I think that they did it in the perfect fashion, like I said. And then it also just re-highlights some questions and things that we had before, and reintroduces some new ones, which I think keeps this going a little bit more and keeps you intrigued. If you are growing to like these characters or growing to like the world or anything that's going on here, you might be a little bit more interested to continue the series on. It's always hard, specifically for anime originals, to come in and do these things, because you got to really keep the viewer engaged. You got to like find these things, and I think that they do a good enough job, at least for me. And I'm not typically into a lot of things that are like this styled, so it just, I don't know, for me it's working pretty well. And maybe it could just be because we have two like very enjoyable cute characters as like our main two that I can watch, but at the same time have excellent chemistry and are just so like over the top, and like you just don't know what they're going to do next, right? Like you don't know what's going to happen or how they're going to interact together or what's going to like occur or who else they're going to meet or whatever, right? And it leaves me really excited and interested to see kind of the direction that they want to head with that. We meet these two at the beginning. I don't remember if they said names or anything, so sorry if not, but basically this dude is going out for Rouge, right? He's looking for her specifically. They've been looking for her for a while, and we kind of drop some things a little bit here, and we find out that she's been planet to planet. Basically, she killed somebody else before on one of them. Now she's on Mars. We have a sort of lead. We're trying to meet up and we're trying to find them, and it adds a little bit more, right? It makes you understand as we go further into the episode, right? Basically what happened last time with people kind of being worried and looking at her a little bit more, as we see later here, where people are actually tracking her down and trying to find her, trying to kill her or capture her or whatever they want to do with her, right? And then we see somebody else, he's literally flying to another planet specifically so he can go and find her. She's being tracked down and we don't know the reason. It keeps you interested. What is the reason? I don't really have a guess. I mean, the reason is because of the killings and the stuff, but that stuff more comes out of like, why is she doing that? Because she doesn't seem to be, you know, natured in that way. Like that's what she wants to do. So it's, who is she either hired by to do these things, or how is she programmed, or what is her purpose, right? Like she doesn't have free will or these things, as we kind of explore that topic and idea a little bit more. And she talks about it, I think even in the last episode, of wondering what exactly that kind of means to be like free in a way, or what it kind of means to be your own person or make your own decisions or just be yourself, right? Like who is yourself at the end of the day, and her trying to find those things as somebody who is artificially made, right? It's a little bit more difficult because she might be programmed with like a mission or a thing that she has to kind of do, or she might just be programmed in a way, like she says here, that she's always been directed. I've always been told what to do. I just follow orders. Like that's kind of what her job is. That's who she is as a person. So having to make these decisions on her own and find who she really is, and go out of her way and maybe not do these things if that's not what she kind of desired or what it is that she wants to do. There's a lot of questions there, but it makes sense, I guess, why they'd be after her, but it makes you wonder why exactly this is happening to her, and she's the one kind of being focused at the center here, who exactly her connections and everything kind of come along with, which I think they do a pretty excellent job at building up my curiosity as to exactly how that stuff's going to kind of go. We get to see the OP completely full again here, better this time because the credits aren't all in the way like they were the last time. It's a fun song. I actually enjoy it decently. I like the visuals and stuff that go along with it. The only thing I don't like is just the showing all the enemies and the things that we're going to kind of be fighting at certain points, because it just kind of like feels like it spoils it in a way of different people that we might end up running into. But at the same time, it's not the biggest deal. It doesn't really matter. So we go on our adventure here and we have to go out of our way. They do a good job at all these establishing shots at the beginning, showing you these different people and what their roles and their things are really early on that are going to be important, especially throughout the remainder of this episode, and maybe even going further into the story. Some of them might be, but some of them might not be. We use the children here as the perfect way for Naomi to kind of be very excited about history and explain everything that happened. And this is where us as the viewer learn a lot of information about the Great War and everything that happened before, right? Learning that the aliens, the visitors, all that stuff that they were talking about in the previous episode that nobody really believed. I was under the impression that the Neons were actually the ones that they were talking about, and they just have different names and these things that they're kind of not aware of, but that appears to not even be the case at all. Finding out that they have different names, and I believe before, I could be misunderstanding this, but I believe before it was that the aliens, or they had one specifically come, and that person or that group of people, whoever ended up coming, they were on good terms and things were going well at some sort of point. But then others came, and as is natural with humans and other people, you have some people that are evil and some that aren't, and then the evil ones end up coming in and actually start causing harm and doing things, and it caused some sort of retaliation and these things that had to be made or had to be done from the humans' end in a way to protect themselves, but also kind of get rid of the evil and the harms and things that have kind of been done to their world or whatever, I'd assume. So at the end of the day, they ended up creating the Neons, who are now the people that we end up knowing, people specifically like Rouge and some of the others and the dude that we see on here. Typically, all of them have markings and stuff on their face, but we end up finding out that's not always the case that we know last episode, and you need to be very cautious of that because some of them don't. Now, I still don't know if only specific ones that have specific abilities and things like Rouge, or if certain ones are created in ways to kind of disguise that and hide that so you don't know, because they're being used for certain missions and purposes through government like reasoning or whatever it is, that would make sense to me. And those people are the ones who are like disguised differently than the others and don't have to outwardly show it, whereas all the other ones kind of do because their purpose is intended to be different things. So it needs to be known when you initially see them, but the other ones have to kind of conceal their identity for whatever the reason is. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I do have reasons that I'm kind of suspecting here. We end up finding out that the other guy on board here, and we talked to him a little bit. She asks about if he kills people, but they have the code that we end up finding out from the last time that he's not allowed to. And then we end up finding out that somebody like Rouge doesn't actually have the code, I believe. I could be wrong on that because she actually hasn't killed, I guess, humans really, right? She's been killing the other Neons or the other just people that she's been going against, but she might also not have the code. So those ones, it's something that seems to be able to be turned on and off based on whoever it is that kind of designed them and caused this technology and whatever. But we end up figuring out the Neons were specifically built and used to fight alongside the humans, fight alongside, but realistically fight as the people who are kind of protecting them and taking all the big blows. Well, they kind of just operate in the background is what you'd assume, as we initially get to see that right away because his job here is to protect, and he jumps in front of the bullet that ends up coming. Actually, right before that, we end up getting all these pictures and this stuff by this photographer being taken. This is weird. I don't like this. I don't know if what her purpose is. I'm assuming the photographer might be used in some, or the journalist might be used in some sort of way as like she's kind of like aware of what's happening, but at the same time might not be. And just trying to like capture these images of people acting like it's just something else that they're actually trying to do. I don't know. It's just weird. Also, just taking pictures of people like that randomly, but whatever. We end up getting. Or this whole scene was fantastic too. Before we end up making Rouge do this, where they hit the chocolate earlier, and she ends up eating it, even though we were told that she needs to share it because she's acting like a child in the moment, which I think is great. We end up meeting Buddy here, trying to guess his occupation. I think is really funny as well. And this is when the attack kind of comes in. Everything goes bad. They kind of want Rouge handed over. We have good complaints and things back and forth between these people. You know, we should just hand her over because she's, you know, somebody that they need, right? And they're going to spare all of us. But then the old lady having something like, we're witnesses to the things that they've done, and they've taken this woman and harmed these other people and done whatever, right? They're not going to let us leave like that. They're not just going to let us off, which is a valid standpoint for us to kind of have here, which I think is also wonderful. We progress a little bit further. This lady being the Sonic lady coming in. Being a former driver and everything, I think is fantastic as well. The cute little moment between them two of talking about how much time they each need to be able to do this. Rouge wanting multiple minutes when they only wants to give her seconds at most, which I think is great as well. I mean, I'm getting away for the time being, but it's not going to be enough, and we have to kind of get back on track here. In the meantime, Rouge literally takes her to go and find images and things to kind of prove her brother that she can be useful and good at it. We end up finding out there's people who fall alongside humans as the Neons, and they kind of just get left for dead like this, right? They're not treated like actual normal or good people. We find out Buddy's a doctor in this moment too, which is pretty cool and something to keep note of. This is the guy I believe they showed at the beginning, and for whatever reason he's here. I didn't see him on the thing at all, but he ended up meeting up or getting here with us at some other point, and it might have not been him, the one that was watching them, but it entirely could have been. I think it is, at least. So whatever his deal is, I have no idea, but he was definitely taking an interest in them. We end up getting told here after this thing turns on somehow not to move at all, because of course you don't want to kind of let it be detecting anybody, but then pictures have to get taken because the curiosity of a child, which causes big explosions and our big ol' action sequence to realistically begin here. Very cool transformation, way cooler than the other ones that we were getting last episode for the other two. So I don't know if that's just a Rouge specific thing to make her seem way better, or if that's more of just, I don't know, that probably just to her specifically. They should have did it for all the others. It would have made it come off a little bit cooler. And then the fight begins with the cylinder head and everything else, and I think it looks fantastic. It's paced really well. There's some fun moments that are involved in it. The use of CG that they have for the vehicles and everything as well is pretty good, and it actually makes it very enjoyable. It's not the worst, like I said. I mean, it's not far and away the best. It's not like Studio Orange level, right? It's not like that, but it's still extremely good. I'd say, and it didn't bother me at all. We end up getting the fucking clink between the two of them on their heads and blowing them up, which ultimately makes things work out pretty well. We go back and we get Rouge, who is now grown up in this moment in her experience of developing a relationship and a connection to this little child, which causes her to give up her chocolate for the first time and makes Naomi very happy to be able to see that. And you love to see that. And then the journey continues because we have places that we still have to go. A little interlude in a way of what's coming, but it leaves you wondering what's going to happen with Rouge, or why are all these people after her? You know, what exactly has she done before? And it leaves lots of questions and things in your head. I love the style of the ED. The backgrounds and everything are fucking beautiful in a lot of these moments. The song is great, and it makes me very excited to see it again. I thought it was a wonderful episode. I thought it was fantastic. Way better than the previous one, and I really liked the previous one. So, really good thing. So much yet for us to uncover here, but at the same time, I think it's a good way of storytelling. I think that some people will be displeased with this and the way that things go on, especially through 2 episodes, because they want things kind of explained certain ways, and they'll find failure to attach themselves to characters, specifically our main 2 here, because they don't probably really feel like there's a need to care for them, or don't understand the reason why, because they haven't really been given a reason or introduction to them. But I think the connection and the relationship between our main 2 so far has really interested me enough, and I think that they're really cute and enjoyable, that I want to keep watching them and seeing exactly what they do. I forgot to even mention the fucking Rouge moment where she starts barking back is insane. Like, why? I don't know. It's fantastic regardless, and I'm happy for more moments like that to continue onwards. It's gonna be all for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked it, all, like and subscribe to me. Not to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel if it comes with this episode of series. I'll be back for the 3rd one next week. We'll go to one though. Peace.